Toucan Play That Game is proudly sponsored by NiceGameShop.com, the place to go for rare and unusual Asian games. Hi, I'm Michael. Take a seat and I'll teach you how to play Unearth by Brotherwise Games, where you will be taking control of a tribe of delvers who are searching for their lost heritage to find out who they are and where they've come from. They'll be exploring ancient ruins in the hope of finding lost wonders. To start setting up the game, take all of these coloured stone tiles and place them in the cloth bag that's provided. The small cards are the delver cards. Shuffle the deck and deal 2 to each player. There are 2 cards that come in the large tarot size, the ruins cards and the end of age cards. For now, put the end of age cards aside and shuffle the ruins cards. Then deal 1 to each player. That player may look at the card, but do keep it secret from the rest of the players. Then, for a 3 or 4 player game, remove the top 5 cards from the ruins deck. For a 2 player game, remove the top 10. Place these removed cards back in the box, you shouldn't need them. Now take the end of age cards that you set aside and shuffle them and randomly select one without looking at it and put it on the bottom of the ruins deck. Then lay out the top 5 cards in a 3 or 4 player game, or the top 4 cards in a 2 player game. Then take the cloth bag of stone tiles and draw a number of tiles per card as denoted at the bottom of the card. Then take your standard playing card size cards and separate out the Greater Wonders and Lesser Wonders card. This will leave you with the named wonders. You'll then shuffle this deck up and reveal a number of cards equal to the number of players plus 2, so 4 for a 2 player game. Then find the corresponding hex token that matches each of the named wonders and place it on its card. The rest of the named wonders tokens and cards can go back in the box. Next, shuffle up the Greater Wonders tokens and create a stack on the card for those, and do the same for the Lesser Wonders. Finally, each player will pick a colour and take the dice of that colour. Then roll to determine your first player and they'll start the game. Here is how the game will look set up for 2 players, and the aim of the game is to get the most points by the end of the game. And the game will end once all the ruins have been taken. At the end of the game, you score points for sets of ruins of the same colour, so a ruin on its own is just 2 points, a pair is 6, 3 of the same colour 12, and so on. You'll also get points for having one of all different colours of ruin, and points for having 3 or more wonders. And finally, you'll get the points for your wonders. So some of the wonders, such as the Lesser Wonders, will give you a certain number of points as stated on them. How do you go about getting these wonders and ruins? Well, you take turns, and your turn is made up of 2 phases. You have your Delver phase and then your Excavation phase. In your Delver phase, you may play 1 or more of the Delver cards in your hand. The Delver phase of your turn is the only time you are able to play Delver cards. Each card is resolved immediately before you move on to resolve the next. Each time you play a card, you'll check to see if any of the ruins are claimed, and I'll explain claiming ruins shortly. Each of these cards will give you a different ability, and it's fairly explanatory what they do based on what they say. For instance, reroll any 1 die already on a ruin. Once you are done playing Delver cards, you move on to the Excavation phase. During the Excavation phase, you will pick one of your available Delvers, so ones that are not already on ruins, unless all your Delvers are on ruins, in which case you can take a Delver off a ruin, and you'll assign it to a ruin. So for instance, I'm going to assign my D4 to this ruin here. I then roll the dice and place it on the ruin. You then check to see if the ruin is claimed. So in this case, we have a total value of dice on this card of 2. If the total value was 15, then the card would be claimed by whoever had the single highest dice. So let's say we went to 8, and then we went to 12, and then we went to 20. That would now mean that this is claimed. And it would be claimed by the blue player because the 8 is the highest value dice there. If there's ties, you then check the next value dice down, or you check to see which is the highest value dice. So in a case where we have a 6 there, and a 6 on this dice, the blue would win the tie because it's on a D8 rather than a D6. Also, whenever you roll a dice on a ruin, you will take a stone if it's between 1 and 3. So on a 4 or more, you don't do this. Only on a 1 or 3, you'll pick one of the available stones and place it in front of you. And I'll explain more about how this works in a moment. If there are no available stones there, you'll randomly draw a stone out of the bag. Before we talk more about stones though, let's talk more about resolving a claim on a ruin. So we have this situation here where the 15 is less than dice value and blue has won the claim. At this point we remove any stones that are on the ruin and they placed back in the bag. Then the player who won removes all of their dice from the ruin. Any other players who have dice on the ruin will then draw a delver card from the top of the delver deck for each dice that they take back. So the red player in this case gets 2 delver cards which they can look at and are kept secret from the other players, and they'll be able to play in future delver phases. Once all the dice are removed, the ruin card is then given to the winner. This will then be used for sets for endgame scoring. So let's now go back to stones, because we talked about taking stones. When you take your first stone, it will simply sit in your player area in front of you, and that's it. But as you get more stones, you must place them so that they touch one of the sides of your existing stone. And eventually, you'll manage to complete a circle of stones. It is possible to be working on multiple circles at a time. So rather than having placed this here, before closing that off, I could have gone, oh, well, I want another circle over here that's going to have 2 red in. So I'll start this circle. Oh, and this blue's going to go here. And then I'll put this yellow in here. The key thing is they have to touch. Once you have completed a circle like this, so you have a hex that is fully enclosed, you are then able to take a wonder. The wonder that you can take is based on the formula given at the bottom of the card. So in this case, lesser wonders can always be taken because it just requires there to be 6 stones, and they can be any stone at all. When you take a wonder, you'll take the appropriate tile and add it in the middle of that. It is possible that you'll take a different wonder though. For example, if you have all the same, then you can do a greater wonder, which you do because it gives you more points. Or you might need specific colours. For example, this one wants 4 yellow plus any 2 others. There are also some, such as this one, that require you to have 3 of the same and 3 of a different colour. Or this one requires you to have 2 of one colour, 2 of a completely different colour, and 2 of a third colour. When you take one of these named wonders, you will also place it in front of you. Some of these named wonders will give you powers that you can use during the game, such as this one that allows you to give your D8 rolls +1 once you've built it. Having finished resolving your excavation, play then passes to the left. As you play through the game and you reveal new ruins, eventually you will reveal the End of Age card. When you need to put out a ruin, so say this one got claimed, you would instead reveal the End of Age card and do as it says on the card. This could affect the game in several ways. For example, this one means that every dice rolled from now on is going to have -1. So if I rolled a d6, it wasn't a 3, it was a 2. Some will increase the number, they do lots of different things. And you will then keep playing until all the ruins are claimed. At that point, it is the end of the game. Each player will then reveal their hidden ruins card, as well as flip any lesser wonders and greater wonders. Players will then count up their points, scoring for sets of wonders. So here we've got a 3, a 2 and 2 singles, and also for getting all the different colours. So we have here, got the green, blue, oh, we're missing light purple, so we haven't got the 5 points for that. If we also had this card here, that would be an additional 5 points. You can score multiple sets if you have all the different colours multiple times. You then also get a bonus 5 points if you have 3 or more wonders, so in this case 4 would be 5 more points. And then you add on the points for your wonders. So here we've got a 7, a 3 and a 4, but then we also have this wonder here that is giving us 1 point for each yellow stone, which would be another 4 points. Whoever has the most points wins the game. And that is how you play Unearth by Brotherwise Games. I do hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you have, please do check out the rest of the videos on the channel, as well as subscribing and sharing. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.